I'm going to take a look at some paint today. This is new to me. I've never used this paint before. It's called Tru-Color Paint. It is a solvent-based paint, which means it's chemically based. The base being acetone with other chemicals in it. So when you use this paint, make sure you take the health precautions, put your respirator on, your gloves. This is designed to be sprayed through an airbrush, and according to the instructions, I should be able to shoot it straight out of the jar. Maybe a little bit of thinning, so I have their thinner and some paint retarder here. They sent me, Tru-Color was kind enough to send me some military colors, some gloss car colors, and some railroad colors. So I got a couple models here and some sheet plastic. I'm going to mix the paint, spray it through my airbrush, see what I think of it. So let's get down to it and we'll check out Tru-Color paints. The first step in testing any paint is to make sure that it's mixed up really well. And in order to do that, I use this right here, which is a Robart paint shaker. It's an electronic shaker. You plug it in the wall, you strap your bottle in, and away you go. I use the paint shaker because it's really important to get all that, the solvent and the paint itself, the pigment, all mixed together really well. You can't get a good test and you can't get a good finish unless it's all mixed up. So this is kind of a cheap advertisement for me, but Robart paint shaker, great product. I'm going to start by painting this rail car with one of the railroad colors. And I just picked a bright color. I just randomly picked B&M blue. Blue's a nice color. So we'll paint this car with the blue. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my gloves on. You don't need to watch this, but put my gloves on. I've got my mask on, as you can see. And what I'm going to do is I've pre-mixed the paint. This is all mixed up now. I'm just going to pour some right into my air gun. I'm going to use a Pache air gun. Put a little bit in there, spray the car, and we'll see how it comes out. Alright, the blue went on well. Looks really good. It's a good strong color. It's got a little bit of dry to it, but that's probably me. And what I'm going to do is I like thin paint. I like putting it on thin. So I'm going to paint the other side as well. But I'm going to put a few drops of the thinner. They supplied some thinner. I'm just going to put a few drops of thinner into the paint and spray the other side. I'm sure it'll be fine. This side looks great. Like I say, it's just myself, I want to see how it goes on in a thinner coat. Okay, so there's your thinner. Just take a few drops. My cup's about half full, so we'll put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drops in. See how that does. I'll just mix that up in the color cup. Thinner's mixed in. The paint's pretty thin right out of the jar. It's pretty good. The spray is nice. So let's shoot the other side with it a little thinned down. The next step, and that went on really well. I like this. It smoothed down really nicely, a little bit of thinner, and it's a little humid in here today, which causes a little blushing, but I could put retarder in there to balance that. But overall, it's a really good finish. I like it a lot. So we'll let that dry, and what I'm going to do now is, turn the fan off here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to clean the gun out, and we're going to use acetone for that. A bottle of acetone right here that was generously supplied by Tru-Colors. Thanks to Tru-Colors for all these paints. This is really fun. I like testing out product. Okay, so now my gun's cleaned out. And I will clean it better when I'm finished all the way, when I do all the colors after. For now, that's ready for the next color. So we shot Tru-Color Railroad Paint. You can see I put the Boston and Maine blue on this car, and it settled down really nicely. And I would say this is kind of a satiny finish. It's not a military flat. So we've got a satin here. I've got the military flat colors here. And what I'm going to do is I picked the dark green color here. This is actually IDF ground, Israeli Defense Force ground armor and uniforms, these colors, which shows you how specific these colors are. And Tru-Colors, the pigments and the colors are on spec for all these different colors, for all the different military spec colors. So I took the dark green because I've got a World War II German airplane. Obviously, it's not IDF. And I'm just going to take some of this green and spray it on, see how it looks, because this aircraft actually had a medium green, dark green camouflage scheme on the top. So let's shoot some of the Tru-Colors military color, see how that comes out. Just filling my cup halfway with the green. We'll shoot it straight out, right out of the bottle first. This is a really nice feature of this paint. You don't have to worry about screwing around with ratios and thinning and so forth if you don't want to, depending on your style of painting. I know guys that like to put a lot of thin coats on and build up. So you do need to thin it when you paint that way. But we're going for an overall solid color, so I don't think it matters too much. Have some thinner here just in case. So I'm going to mask up, start shooting. There you have half the airplane painted. So I'm going to let that dry, take a look at it, and then I'll paint the other half of the airplane. Went on really nicely. Now we'll see how it dries. I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm bringing the camera in to show you how nice and flat this is drying on the wing. You can see it drying all around this area here, and it's flattening out really nicely. So I like this paint. I think this is a winner. I'm really impressed with this military color, with the finish. This is really, really nice. This went on super smooth. Got a really nice flat coat on it. Very military. This is great. This is really, really nice. I really like it. Last but not least, I'm going to shoot some of these car colors. I have Rally Yellow, High Gloss Rally Yellow, and High Gloss Ford Red. So I'm going to shoot these two colors on sheets, and I have a gray prime sheet, so we'll see how the coverage is. These are highly saturated paints. These are really nice paints. These give a really solid color when they dry. So let's shoot the car colors, see how they are, and then we'll wrap it up. There you have it. That's Tru-Color Paint. I found this to be a really good paint. It went on really nicely straight out of the jar. Didn't have to thin it down. If I want thinner coats, I can put a little bit of the thinner in it. There's retarder, just in case you get a little blushing. What I really liked were the finishes. In other words, the first thing I shot was a railroad color, and that came out to a satiny, semi-gloss finish, which I like. Then I shot the military color, and that came out beautifully. This is a really, really nice matte finish. I really like this. I think it's great. And then I shot the car colors, the glosses. And they came out with a really nice shiny gloss finish right out of the bottle. Love it. Good coverage, solid, highly saturated colors. So, like I said, Tru-Color is a solvent-based paint. It's based on, it has an acetone base with other chemicals added in. You can clean your gun with acetone, which is really nice. You could buy a big jar of acetone, but you don't want to use that to thin your paint because the other additives aren't in there. They keep the paint from drying strangely or blushing and things like that. So Tru-Color Paint, their website's www.trucolorpaint.com. You can go there and look at all the different colors they make. I mean, they make a ton of different colors. And it's great that they're doing each facet. In other words, model railroad, which is hurting right now. There aren't a lot of colors out there for model railroaders. Military colors and car colors. And they sell the sets, which is really nice. That's what I have here is a couple of the paint sets. So check out Tru-Color Paint. Can't recommend it enough. I think this is really great. Cleans out of your gun, doesn't leave a residue, dries hard and solid. Really like this paint. So Tru-Color Paint.